Are you serious? Are you serious? Guys, I hate to break in tonight. I know it's Saturday evening, but there's been a tragedy, a very, very, very dangerous and very fluid situation, a massive active shooting in New Hampshire. Two shooters in New Hampshire. Multiple people have been shot. We don't know how many are dead, and the shooters got away. This is a terrible situation. It's a very fluid situation. Now, we just got a phone call on the phone from people that are in the area telling us literally that something horrific has happened. The shooting has happened at Sky Meadow Country Club. I think it was a wedding reception from what I understand, but it's very, very sketchy and it's a very fluid situation. I could be wrong on that, but it was at Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashu, New Hampshire. The police and the fire and the rescue teams are all on the scene, and it's reported that several people have been shot tonight. Nashu police and fire and rescue teams are surrounding the communities in that area, all of them. Rescue teams, police, fire departments, ambulances everywhere have converged on the Sky Meadow Country Club there tonight in Nashu, New Hampshire. Nashu fire and rescue teams and police were sent to the country club for a report of an active shooter. Several people shot. At least one man was shot in the face, while another man suffered lacerations to the arm. But guys, that's just because that's all the reporting we have. But let me just tell you what's happened. According to the trauma alert was called at the Southern New Hampshire Medical Center, 3 people were taken there by an ambulance at 7:45, about 1 hour ago, to that hospital. But then after those 3 people arrived, firefighters then got requested 5 more ambulances, and a statewide mobilization unit was also requested. And according to the scanner chatter, police were asked to assist the Nashu police. Manchester AMR was also requested to the scene. Several scanner trackers are reporting the shooting is officially a mass casualty event. I repeat, mass casualty event, meaning several people have been shot. At least 9 ambulances have been requested to the scene. The guests that were evacuated from the compound around 8 o'clock, there's reports of at least 2 shooters are now at large. If you got any tips, they want you to please email Tony Shanella at patch.com or send new videos to Tony Shanella's YouTube channel or Rumble channels, okay? I'm just reporting. They're trying. This, of course, this information is coming from the patch, okay? Now, I have more information just now coming in on this situation. Give me one moment. Active shooting. At least three people have already arrived at the hospital, but 9 ambulances have been called now. First they said 5, now they say 9. Give me a moment. This is a very fluid situation. Okay, nobody's like CNN or MSNBC or you know, Fox News. None of these people are covering it yet because most of these people on Saturday night are partying. They're nowhere at work. Nobody's at work. And that's the thing about these cable news networks. They never leave people at the studio in case there is breaking news, in case there is major events. Nobody's there. They got to call people on the phone. They got to rush them in and all of that. I'm here. And no matter what I'm doing, I'm working. I'm watching the Notre Dame football game. They just beat Purdue, you know, whatever. I'm watching Indiana play Illinois. It don't matter. I will run and get on the line. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's why you guys stay with me. Okay, we have some information now coming out. This is just in the last few moments. Emergency responders have descended on the Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashu, New Hampshire. Reports of 2 active shooters, maybe more. there may be more than 2 active shooters at a wedding reception, triggering a mass casualty declaration. 3 people have been taken to the hospital. 5 ambulances were requested. Another 9 ambulances were requested. So I don't know how many people were shot. What began as a serene autumn evening at one of southern New Hampshire's most exclusive addresses, the Sky Meadow Country Club, has spiraled into a night of terror and confusion as gunfire rang out from at least 2 shooters. The incident has unfolded at around 7:45 p.m. at the gated estate on the Mountain Laurels Drive, a hilltop retreat long known for its immaculate manicured greens of the golf course and luxury amenities. And according to the initial dispatch logs from the Nashua Fire Department, multiple trauma patients were reported on the property, prompting the on-scene commander to declare a mass casualty event and immobilize additional resources. Eyewitnesses have described a sudden eruption of chaos near the clubhouse during what appeared to be a private gathering. It was like something out of a movie. People were running everywhere, screams cutting through the dusk, said one country club member, speaking to reporters under a condition, of course, of anonymity. Now, within minutes, fire crews, ambulances converged on the property, joined by mutual aid units from Merrimack and Hudson, New Jersey. Paramedics established a triage point at the entrance, sorting the victims by injury severity. That's never good when you hear that. And according to the emergency radio chatter reviewed by local outlets, the helicopters are now being placed on standby at the Southern New Hampshire Regional Medical Center. Meanwhile, several individuals with non-life-threatening injuries have arrived already unannounced at the Nashua Engine 3 firehouse on West Hollis Street, adding to the strain on the responders. These folks just showed up. They bloodied, but they were mobile. In other words, they were shot, but they were able to walk or run. And so people just drove them straight to the fire department. They showed how fast the situation began to escalate. According to the veteran fire department, who one of their officers and fire department employees who was not authorized, of course, to speak publicly, hospitals in Nashua and Manchester have later confirmed receiving patients, multiple patients, but they've declined to release how many there were. The shooting rattled this city of 90,000 people where Sky Meadow Country Club, which was established back in 1987, has been a synopsis with upscale weddings, charity galas, corporate retreats. Neighborhoods describe hearing sharp bursts of gunfire before emergency vehicles swarm the very usually quiet Mountain Laurels Drive. We thought it was fireworks. There were so many. But then we saw the sirens and the residents nearby the Valley View Lane. By the Nashua Police Department, Major Crimes Unit has cordoned off the area of the 200-acre property to collect the shell casings and to review the security camera footage. And a department spokesperson confirmed that the police activity was ongoing, but they withheld any details on who the suspects might be or the possible motives. But we know there's at least 2 shooters. Now, the country club has since shuttered its operations indefinitely while speculation circulates over whether the shooting stemmed from a targeted altercation at the private wedding reception event. As investigators sift through the evidence, Sky Meadows Fairways stands silent tonight. Its tranquility has been ruptured by a reminder that even gated communities are not immune to America's rising tide of gun violence and crime. So this is, as you can see, a very upscale neighborhood. It's a very fluid situation, that's for sure. We are So we're on the scene right now. Not on the scene, but I'm on the call right now doing what I can to break this information to you. It's a very fluid, and when I say that, I mean that, a very fluid situation that has developed right here, right now in New Hampshire. Multiple people have been shot. Multiple people have been shot. Okay. And it's not good. It really isn't good. We know that at least 9 ambulances have been called. We know that the wounded have shown up into at least 2 hospitals. We know even some people wounded were taken by car, private citizen car, to the local fire department, okay, to try to deal with this situation. So this is, it's really, really, really a sad situation. Helicopter. Now a medical helicopter has been called. Give me just a moment. We don't know how many people are shot. We don't know how many people are dead. No, the shooter's not been caught. There's 2 shooters. 2 shooters, I repeat, 2 shooters, and they both fled and got away. So that means we're going to have this massive manhunt. Was this a targeted event, or did this just break out from a brawl and 2 people pulled guns in New Hampshire? Wow. Not good. Give me just a second here. What we do know, and I've given you 2 different scenarios here. Let me see if I can get the latest news on this. Not good. I'm gonna multiple victims, and so give me a moment here. I might be able to get something latest. I've given you information now from 2 different major sources, and the latest. And but there's nobody out there. Like I said, CNN is asleep. MSNBC is probably partied and drunk, and Fox News, nobody's working. There's nobody working in any of these. I shouldn't have said they were drunk, although most of them. What I'm trying to say is nobody's working. They're all partying. They're at dinner. No, that's the thing about these cable news networks. They never leave anybody in the offices. Like there's not going to be any problems on a Saturday night. Folks, this world is in a state of chaos. It's in a state of chaos. And if I owned one of these major news networks, I would keep at least a cameraman and 1 reporter at the office around the clock. There would always be somebody there ready in case something breaks loose, because that's the chaotic situation we're in. But see, these folks are so used, these fake news media networks are so used to packaging the news, creating news, and forcing down your throat only what they want you to know, not to actually report what's really going on. And that's why when they start crying about us, social media, or start crying about us YouTube reporters or whatever, this is when they start, it's, why don't you do your job? If they would do their job, it'd be a whole lot easier. But instead, guys like me, I'm just working on my sermon for Sunday, but and I just finished the sermon. I'm over there and watching a football game, trying to take a couple breaks, couple of minutes, but I'm always on call. I'm always ready in case there's a massive earthquake or a massive shooting or a volcanic eruption or maybe the rapture. But anyway, there's nothing from, okay, now it might take CNN, BBC, nothing from the BBC, nothing from CNN, nothing from MSNBC, nothing from Fox News. Nothing. So I'm looking at The Patch, a local reporter in New Hampshire. Also information coming in from the University of New Hampshire. Police, a University of New Hampshire student reporter. Thank God for him. It's an active shooter. Stay away from the surroundings of the country club. Keep a safe distance. This is what they're saying. They don't know how many people were shot. And I don't either. I just know 9 ambulances have been summoned to the location. There's a triage. A triage has been set up to try to determine the wounded. A helicopter has been called. Now I've got some more information coming in. There has been a massive police response at Mount Lauren Drive in Nashua, New Hampshire, at the Sky Meadow Country Club. There's 2 shooters, 2 suspects, 2 shooters involved in the incident, and they fled the scene. Multiple witnesses say there were 2 shooters, and they both got away. They didn't kill themselves. So this sounds to me like more of a dispute, some kind of confrontation at the wedding reception. Or maybe these guys showed up. I don't know. But 2 shooters involved in the incident. They've both fled the scene after the shooting, according to the police. Nashua Police Department of Nashua, New Hampshire. They say that they've been able to nab one of them. Okay, that's good. That's just now. We're just now getting this. They caught one of the 2 shooters. The other one is on the run. All right, so that's breaking news right there. 2 shooters. One has been arrested or nabbed. I don't know if that means they've been neutralized or they just caught him. The other one is still on the run. There's a massive manhunt going on right now in New Hampshire. A massive emergency response underway. The EMS and other first responders are at the scene. According to a scanner reports, multiple people have been shot. 9 ambulances have been called and a helicopter. As per local media reports, at least 1 injured victim has a life-threatening injury. 1 man was shot in the face. We know that. We don't know how many people are wounded. We don't know how many people may be dead. We have reports also that at least some people shot were driven by car to the local fire department to get immediate help, trauma help. So we don't know how many people were shot. 9 ambulances have been summoned. A helicopter has been called. Multiple police agencies are on the scene. 1 shooter has been nabbed. I take it that means captured. Don't know if nabbed means neutralized, arrested, shot. I don't know. But 1 shooter has been nabbed and 1 shooter has got away. And there's a massive manhunt going right now to try to find that one. Thank you guys for responding so quickly. There's over 1,400 people here live. There's more people here live on this broadcast than there is watching this on CNN, MSNBC, or Fox because none of them are awake yet. There's nobody working the night shift. I don't know how they can call themselves a cable news network when they never cover the news. They only package propaganda to shove down your throat. That's all they ever do. And so forgive me for calling them out on that, but I've been doing this for 15 years. And, okay, Debbie Boyd says there's helicopters flying over my house right now. Debbie Boyd, I take it, lives in New Jersey. God bless you, Debbie. She's been with us a long time. Where did I get the news? Phone call. One of our online members picked up the phone and called me and Heidi as this thing was happening. So Rhonda, thank you. Rhonda Peach, thank you so much for asking that question. How did I get the news? Because it's not on any of the networks. The online. We have online members all over the world. We really do. We have online members of this online church literally in about 187 countries of the world. And a lot of times, it's your phone calls that gets the information to us first. That's how we are able to respond quickly first because of you. And then I immediately scour the planet with and touch with my sources that I have out there to see if I can grab something quickly, because I know if it's on a Saturday night or on a Friday night or a Saturday night, or especially Saturday nights or Sunday nights or whatever, these guys are not working. Debbie says, no, I live in New Hampshire next to the country. Okay, so Debbie Boyd lives right there in New Hampshire next to this very country club. And she says helicopters are flying over her house. She lives next door to the Sky Meadow Country Club there in New Hampshire, and helicopters are flying over her house. It was a wedding party. It was a reception. 2 shooters. Multiple people were shot. We know one man was shot in the face. We know one person's being taken by helicopter, at least one. We know 9 ambulances have been called, at least. We're not sure how many more. Multiple gunshots. There were so many gunshots that people living close thought it was fireworks. There were 2 shooters, and apparently they opened up. I don't know if this was a targeted shooting. There were 2 shooters. One suspect is still at large, according to police. One has been nabbed. I don't know if that means neutralized, shot, or just arrested. I'm not sure. But one suspect has been apprehended. We'll use that word. And one suspect is still at large. And now there's a massive manhunt after that individual. New Hampshire, guys, is a very small state up there in the north, up in the New England area, up in the northern states there of the United States of America, in the Northeast. Small. I've been there. It's a beautiful, actually, it's a beautiful state, to be honest with you. This is a very, very rich neighborhood, a very high class, gated community, upscale country club. But it doesn't matter where you are now in America. It don't matter where you're at in America. Violence is everywhere. And just like the days is New Hampshire and Maine. No. New Hampshire's its own state. Maine is a state, and New Hampshire is a state just south of Maine. New Hampshire and Vermont, those are 2 small states just below Maine. Maine is its own state. New Hampshire is its own state. Anna Irwin, they're talking about prayer walls. I appreciate that. Guys, keep praying. We don't know how many people have been shot. Multiple people shot. I want to thank all 1,500 of you that are live with us right now. This is a very fluid situation. The media is still asleep. So we're going to depend on you and what we can get information from very obscure local media primarily to help us understand what's going on. And the online church, because we got one lady who lives right next door to the country club. And how we know this happened, we got a phone call just half hour ago at least, telling us that there's been an active shooting. It's a very mass casualty, a terrible situation. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I got anything else updating. I don't know. Maybe the major networks may never, ever, they may not get to this till morning. Maybe they'll finally send somebody in to turn the lights on and turn a camera on. I don't know. But we'll cover this right now. We know that the University of New Hampshire, school reporter is covering it, and said that there was an individual or group of individuals that was targeting people to create a mass shooting. Now, I don't know if that means could be. I don't know if they know. I really don't think so. I don't know. I'm not going to report that. What I do know is what's happened. And multiple injuries, at least one helicopter was called in. I know that 9 ambulances were called. There may be more. I know some wounded were taken by car to a local fire department that was close to try to get first aid on the spot. We know that multiple victims have been taken to 2 different hospitals. That we know. And it's also a very fluid situation in New Hampshire right now. Now, we don't know how many people have been shot. We don't know how many people may be dead. We know one man was shot in the face. We know there were 2 shooters. We know one shooter has been apprehended, and one shooter is still at large. Now, we have reports coming that at least one person is dead. I repeat, reports are that one person, at least one, is dead. There may be more. That's according to unofficially EMTs on the scene have said one person for sure. They know one person is dead. And WMUR-TV out of New Hampshire, a local television channel, is reporting at least one person is dead. There are EMTs there from Amherst, from Hollands, Brookline, from Hudson, from Milford, from Manchester. We're also all on the scene, not counting Nashu police EMTs. We have massive amounts of different police departments there. At least 9 ambulances were called. At least 1 helicopter was brought in. 2 shooters we know there was 2 shooters that opened fire on this reception, this wedding reception. One person we know one man was shot in the face, that we know, and now it's being reported by local television station WMUR-TV is reporting at least one person is dead. That is reported by by a local television station. Of course, I don't have any other confirmation on that. There's none of the major networks there, so I don't know what to say. They're not there. We're covering it live, of course, and it's a terrible, terrible situation, to say the least. Nobody wants this to be the situation. Hang on just a second. We're going to try to scour a little bit more. There's nothing on the BBC. There's nothing on CNBC. There's nothing on NBC. There's nothing on ABC. There's nothing on CBS. There's nothing on CNN. There's nothing on Fox. Just the local guys, a school reporter. These guys don't know. We got reports that multiple people have been shot. One person was shot in the face, and one person may be dead. Now I'm getting some more. CNN has finally showed up. CNN. Let's see what they know. Multiple people shot, according to CNN, at New Hampshire Country Club. Police say one suspect is in custody and the other one is at large. Okay. There also, CNN says the multiple people have been shot at the Sky Meadow Country Club in Nashu, New Hampshire, according to city police department. Police say 2 armed suspects fled the scene. One's been captured. The other one still remains at large and is still a threat to the public. Sky Meadow Country Club, in addition to being an immaculate golf course, is also a private club serving a venue for a variety of events such as weddings. And this was a wedding reception. It was a wedding and a reception. And that's all CNN can tell us. They don't know how many people were shot. They don't know about the ambulances. They don't know about a person shot in the face. They don't know about anybody dead. They don't know about any helicopters. That's all they got. That's all they got. Now I'm sorry. Hang on. Okay. Newsday says that the shooting at the country club left multiple people gunshot victims. According to the New Hampshire, several different police departments, the shootings happened at Sky Meadow Club, country club there in Nassau, New Hampshire. Police said the two suspects fled the scene. One has been in custody. The other one's still at large and is a dangerous threat to the public. Information on the condition of the victims is not immediately available, so they have nothing to report. So as I think I've given you guys the best I can at this moment. I'm sure that the numbers, I'm sure it's a very fluid situation. I'm sure the number of victims will change. I hope that no one else is dead but the one person they say that is dead. Let's hope that one isn't dead. We know multiple people were shot. We know there's 9 ambulances called. We know there's a helicopter flying in. We know some people were taken by car to a local fire department. All of that is very fluid. All of that could change. You know how rumors can spread so fast. But obviously something horrific has happened in New Hampshire tonight. And so I want you to pray, because as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man. We can't seem to get away from the violence. On the eve, of course, of Charlie Kirk's memorial that's going to take place tomorrow at 2 o'clock local time, I think in Arizona, there at where the Arizona Cardinals play football. The entire stadium is for the memorial of Charlie Kirk. It's the President of the United States will be there. The Vice President will be there. Many other dignitaries and family, and of course, massive amount of support by the general public. I don't think AOC will be there because she threw Charlie Kirk under the bus publicly when all they wanted to do was ask everybody to recognize Charlie Kirk for the fact that he was killed. We should recognize him as a good man, an American. She stood up and addressed the Congress and trashed Charlie Kirk. Remember that when she runs for president in 2028. I'll be back, guys, with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. Pray for these people. We're living in the last days. I was going to read, I guess I was supposed to. I'll do it now, but I'll tell you what, I'm not going to do it. I'll do that tomorrow. God bless all of you. I know people are saying, I taught on the rapture today for 3 hours. You can get your ticket and you can watch it now. It's on demand if you want to. I think it'd be a really good thing to do. It was great. Everyone says it was really some phenomenal teaching. So you can do that at our website if you want to. You'll be blessed. And if you're giving your Feast of Trumpet offerings, certainly you can do that. Just go to our website or call the main line tomorrow or check our money order in the mail. Always send your prayer requests along with all of that. And we'll talk more about that, okay? God bless all of you. Pray for the people that were shot and the families. In Jesus' name.